Hey guys, welcome back to Together We Are Thursdays. This week the topic is caring for oneself, self-nurture. Um, this is a really important topic and is very pertinent in ED healing because we tend to minimize our needs or deny them or suppress them. And we also tend to be extremely rigid in terms of what is success versus what is failure. And in the healing journey, this is not a good thing. I mean, it's not a good thing overall, but especially when you're trying to overcome some toxic influences in your life or symptoms of your ED. We must practice self-love. The bottom line, and I'm always saying this, is that we are profoundly selfless givers, but horrible receivers. And not only do we struggle with accepting love, support, nurture, to nurture oneself or actively provide comfort for oneself is extremely foreign and often very scary for ED sufferers. We have long focused on what we have not done, what we have done wrong, what we could have done better, but rarely do we congratulate ourselves and give ourselves credit for the good things. This is something that I've put a lot of energy into cultivating within myself, and it's one of the reasons that I came up with the Positivity and Healing Challenge, which isn't going on YouTube anymore. I think it was just too hard to do daily videos for everyone, but still going on the forum. It's been going since I created it. I think one of the best things that helps me is whenever I have a toxic negative ED thought, I take a moment. It's going to take a while for you to get out of the subconscious natural way of thinking and actually proactively refocus your mind on a positive rather than a negative. For example, let's say one has a to-do list of 5 things for the day, and then we only get 3 done. The typical response for many of us would be to feel like a failure because we didn't complete 4 and 5. Never mind that we completed 3. So a positive reconstructive thought would be congratulating, giving credit for, and taking satisfaction from completing 1 through 3. You see what I'm saying? You switch the focus, switch the emphasis. It's the glass half full versus half empty thing, you know? Another thing that I found very helpful, and I know others have found helpful, is to do an empathic exercise. Think about somebody you love very much and apply whatever you are feeling to what if they were going through this, how would I feel? And then use that exercise to, number one, discern the differences by which you respond to yourself and someone else, and then utilize the compassion, the love, the supportive impetus that you feel for someone else and turn it towards yourself. Easier said than done, I know, but it's a great start. The idea is that positive affirmation and positive thinking stimulates positive neuronal potentials in your brain and generates active, positive pathways. And any of these, or in any life crisis or any issue that anybody is dealing with, this is open to everyone. You don't have to have an ED to participate. But especially those of us suffering with mental illness, there tend to be a lot of negative thoughts, repetitive obsessive thoughts, or negative self-talk. In general, just like toxic thought processes. And so it's well understood that, positive affirmations help, positive visualizations and quotes and inspirational material, whatever works for you. So in November of 2009, I started this Positivity and Healing Challenge. And basically what it is once a day. The challenge is that no matter what you're dealing with in your life, you find a ray of hope. You find a ray of positivity. Even if it's just neutral, something that you're grateful for, because no matter how bad any day is, there is always a ray of light in there somewhere. And so, maybe, like, if you're having a horrible day and you're sick and miserable and, curled up in bed, like, just not happy at all and waiting to get better, you have a bed to curl up in. And it sounds trite, like, this isn't supposed to be like, there are starving children in Africa and you should eat, it's not meant to be a guilt trip. It's meant to be a reinforcing the good things that are in your world. I often hear outsiders saying to, like, especially there's been certain vloggers who come from a more affluent background, and there's been some judgment, like, you're in a privileged socioeconomic group, you should be happy. Well, happiness is not material. If it were true, then the richest people in the world would be the happiest, and it's not. Cultivating happiness is not acquisition of things. Cultivating happiness has to come from within. And while we've all heard that ad nauseum, oh yeah, it has to come from within, how to go about cultivating positivity and happiness isn't necessarily so straightforward. We get a lot of generalizations and a lot of adages and a lot of axioms and a lot of proverbs and things, but direct proactive things we can do, not so much. So this is one thing you can do once a day, or multiple times a day if you want, but at least one time a day. Find one thing that isn't horrible. Even if it's not phenomenal, it isn't horrible. Like, seriously, for me, if I'm miserably sick and incapacitated, then I am grateful I have a safe place to lie down. I have meds that will help me get through it. I have the comfort and privacy of being in my own home, different things like that. I'm so grateful for my animals, and I'm so grateful for, I'm always using this example because it's so important to me, like a hot cup of tea. Tea is very therapeutic for me. So, just anything. So, it's a new month, and I wonder if anyone would be interested in reviving the Positivity and Healing Challenge. I'd be willing to do it if people want to. Otherwise, I'll just stick to my forum version. But yeah, if you guys want to join in, go ahead. Start now. Leave something in the comments if you want. We have so many blessings that tend to escape conscious thought far too often. And exercising an attitude of gratitude has been profoundly healing for me, and I know for many others as well. Focusing on the haves rather than the have-nots is a really powerful tool toward healing. So the question of the week was, what are the color of all the rooms in your house? Our house is pretty boring, I guess, color-wise. We've got a few things. The kitchen is a blue color. It's not a pastel, but it's not really dark either. I don't really know how to explain the color. So yeah, it's kind of a difficult blue to explain. If you look at any of my cooking videos, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. And Mr. Empath in my room, the walls are slightly tinted with like a really, really, really subtle sea green, I guess. But it's really, really subtle. Like, you really don't notice it unless you look where the wall meets the ceiling. You can see the difference a little bit that way. Much love and be well, precious ones. See you next week. Bye, guys.